is ready. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to the July 23rd, 2026
Recording in progress.
Planning Commission meeting of the Medford Planning Commission meeting. Or we will now come to order. Kaylee, could we have a roll call, please?
Rachel Bennett, Larry Busco, David Culbertson,
Here.
Mark McKechnie,
Here.
EJ McManus,
Here.
Marcy Pierce,
Here.
Jared Pulver,
Here.
Jeff Thomas, Jim Wallen.
Here.
Roll has been taken.
Thank you. We do have a quorum. Tonight's agenda is available on the city's website for those watching from home. The order of business this evening will consist of consent calendar, written communications, the minutes, public hearings, and reports. Item 20 is a consent calendar and written communications. Have the commissioners reviewed the consent calendar, written communication items, and are there any questions? Yes, Commissioner
Sorry,
Pulver.
kids, real quick on, I think it's the Transportation Commission report from last time. It references the TSP, but it calls it the Transportation Safety Action Plan, which is unfortunately different. So it's I think that one's the system plan that we were talking about anyway.
Is that the minutes or
Mr.
the
Pulver,
consent
that would be
calendar?
minutes,
Oh, sorry,
not consent calendar.
My bad, sorry.
We'll revisit Commissioner Pulver in just a minute. Do any commissioners have any questions or comments about the consent calendar and written communications? Seeing none, do I have a motion?
Chair, I move to adopt the consent calendar and communications as submitted.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Kaylee, could we have a roll call, please?
Mark McKechnie,
Yes.
EJ McManus,
Yes.
Marcy Pierce,
Yes.
Jared Pulver,
Yes.
Jim Wallen,
Yes.
Dave Culbertson.
Yes.
We have 6 yeses.
Commissioner Pulver's item 30 is the minutes. Have the commissioners reviewed the minutes from the Planning Commission meeting of July 9th, 2026? Are there any additions or corrections to be noted? Commissioner Pulver.
What I said a second ago, thanks.
All right. With the correction, are there any other additions or corrections? All right. Submitted with the corrections. Thank you. Item 40, oral requests and communications from the audience. This is an opportunity for members of the audience to address the commission on matters that are not on today's agenda. If you wish to speak, please come forward to the podium, sign in, tell us your name and your concern. All right. Tonight's public hearing is items 50.1 through 50.3 will be conducted as quasi-judicial hearings. Item 50.4 will be conducted as a legislative hearing. If you plan to testify, please listen carefully to the following prepared statement regarding the procedural rules that govern these hearings. The statement will be read by Mr. Alan Moreland, Deputy City Attorney.
I'm going to explain the rules that govern these hearings. Before the hearing begins, city staff will give a report. The report will list the criteria that govern the city's decision. After the staff report, the hearing will be open for other speakers. The applicants will speak first and may ask for rebuttal time. Following the applicant, any other interested person will be allowed to speak. Any testimony, argument, or evidence you give must relate to the criteria listed in the staff report or other criteria in the comprehensive plan or land use regulations that you believe apply to the decision. If you fail to raise an issue or do not give the commission sufficient information so that the commission and any party can respond, you will not be able to appeal that issue to the Land Use Board of Appeals. If you do not raise constitutional or other issues about any proposed condition with specificity so that the commission can respond to that issue, you will not be able to bring a court action for damages. Before the hearing is closed, anyone who needs more time to present evidence must ask for more time. If you ask, the hearing will be continued or the record will be kept open and you will have at least 7 days to present additional written evidence.
Thank you. In order to proceed through this evening's agenda in a timely manner, except at the Commission's request, applicants giving testimony will be given 10 minutes to present their application. Individuals who have comments about the application will be given 3 minutes or 5 minutes if representing a group or organization, and 5 minutes are given to the applicant for rebuttal. Before we begin with the agenda items, I understand there's somebody on Zoom. Are they here for a specific agenda item? Make sure we don't miss them.
They're from here. They're here, an agent from AKS Engineering and Forestry.
Got it. Okay. Are they going to raise their hand if they want to testify or speak? Thank you. All right. Item 50.1, PUD 20-22-092 and LDS-22-093 And ZC-22-094, consideration of request to remove conditions of approval from the Stewart Meadows PUD and subdivision requiring the extension of Myers Lane and the extension to a public pedestrian easement to Myers Lane from the westerly property line. Subject area is south of Garfield and west of Anton Drive and is zoned community commercial and light industrial. It also includes a restricted zoning administrative mapping overlay. The applicant is CoGap Enterprises. The agent is Mays and Associates. The planner is Kelly Aiken. Staff has requested that this item be continued to the August 13th, 2026 Planning Commission meeting. Are there any members of the audience that have come to testify on this application? Seeing none, do I have a motion for continuance?
Chair, I move to continue PUD-22-092 slash LDS-22-093 slash ZC-22-094 to the August 13th, 2026 Planning Commission meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Kaylee, could we have a roll call, please?
Jim Wallen,
Yes.
EJ McManus,
Yes.
Marcy Pierce,
Yes.
David Culbertson,
Yes.
Jared Pulver,
Yes.
We have 6 yeses.
Oh, you didn't ask for me. Okay.
Mr.
I'll say-
McKechnie?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Record is corrected. And motion passes. All right, 50.2, LDP-26-185 and ZC-26-184, a proposal for a two-lot partition on 24.51 acres, zoned SFR 00 with an EA and SFR zonings, located northwesterly of the corner of South Stage Road and Orchard Home Drive. The proposed parcels are identified as reserve acreage. No on or off-site improvements or development are proposed at this time. The proposal also includes a zoning change from SFR 00 EA to community commercial on 6.52 acre portion of the proposed parcel 1. The EA overlay will be removed. The applicant is KDA Homes LLC. The agent is Scott Sinner Consulting. The planner is Stefan Roenfeld. The applicant has requested this item be continued to the August 13th, 2026 Planning Commission meeting. Are there any members of the audience that have come to speak on this application tonight? Yes, you have come to speak on that application? So if there are members of the audience that have come to testify on an application item, please come forward and the Planning Commission will hear your testimony at this time if you are not able to attend the August 13th, 2026 meeting. There will be no decisions made on this application this evening. And your decision, no applications, and it's possible that your questions may be answered on the August 13th, 2026 meeting. Would you like to still come forward and testify? Okay, thank you. No other members of the audience have come to testify on this application? All right, is there a motion I can consider?
Chair, I move to continue LDP-26-185 and ZC-26-184 to the August 13th, 2026 Planning Commission meeting.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Kaylee, could we have a roll call, please?
Mark McKechnie,
Yes.
Jared Pulver,
Yes.
Jim Wallen,
Yes.
Marcy Pierce,
Yes.
EJ McManus,
Yes.
Dave Culbertson.
Yes.
We have 6 yeses.
All right, August 13th, Planning Commission meeting, you're going to be able to attend? Okay. If you have any comments, please submit them to the staff for the record. All right, item 50.3, LDS-26-100, consideration of tentative plat for the Owen Drive subdivision, a proposed 21-lot subdivision, 12 duplex lots, 4 townhome lots, 1 triplex lot, 3 reserve acreage lots, and 1 lot to serve open space as stormwater facility. It's to be developed in 2 phases. The subdivision is contained within 2 contiguous parcels totaling approximately 37.7 acres located north of Owen Drive and east of Springbrook Road. The subject parcels are zoned MFR 20, SFR 10, and includes a restrictive zoning administrative map overlay. The applicant is Creations Northwest LLC. The agent is AKS Engineering and Forestry LLC. The planner is Dustin Severs. Do any commissioners have a conflict of interest or ex parte contacts regarding this application to disclose? See none. Does anyone in the audience wish to question the commission on conflicts of interest or ex parte contacts? See none. All right, can we have a staff report?
Yes, thank you. Dustin Severs with the Planning Department. And next up, we have the Owen Drive subdivision. This is file number LDS 26-100. We do have 5 new exhibits for you. We did forward these all over to you this morning. I was hoping hope you were able to review them. The first 3 are submittals from the applicant. The first is a revised tentative plat. So the same tentative plat they had before. At the request of staff, they removed the eastern parcel from being shown in their plat. And also the other changes, they just simply showed the secondary access that they'll be proposing. We'll be talking more about this secondary access later in the presentation. Second was a revised street cross section. So this had to do with the proposed Street A. So the top shows the original submittal. So their cross section showed 28 feet. However, at the request of the fire department, they were asked to extend that to 33 feet. So they did so. In order to do so, they were required to slightly reduce the planter strip down from 7.5 to 5 feet. So that is allowed. These modified standards are allowed. So it doesn't require discretionary approval through this body. And also revise on the revised street cross sections is a modification what they originally submitted for the major minimum access easement. So you look on the right, you see the illustration shows that a major minimum access easement doesn't require a 5-foot sidewalk on one side of the road. Did not show that with the original cross section shown at the top here. So they were able to incorporate it into their updated cross section shown at the bottom. And finally, provide an updated civil plan, which shows that expanded 33-foot wide paved section for Street A, and also has the information about the secondary access connecting the development to Owen Drive. Next is a revised staff report from the fire department. So this was in response to their updated subdivision plat showing the secondary access. Again, we're going to be revisiting this secondary access later in the presentation. We'll have Mr. Tanner Farrington, our fire marshal, come up and he can speak to some of these slight modifications he's proposing. Also received an updated staff report from Public Works. Same thing. This has to do with the secondary access. And in the email, Mr. Doug Burrows, our engineer, did provide a summary of some of those requirements that goes along with that secondary access. And he'll be able to speak to that as well. Move on, look at our legal requirements. So the criteria for a land division are found in section 10.2025 of the Land Development Code. And it's included on the screen, included in your staff report. Looking at the project summary, so the subject site consists of 2 vacant contiguous parcels. They total approximately 37.7 acres. They are fronted by Owen Drive along its northern boundary. So Owen Drive is classified as a minor arterial street. And you see Dragon Tail is stubbed at the northwest side portion of the site. So this particular northern section of the development is reserve acres with the subject application. So it will be further developed in the future. In that time, Dragon Tail will be extended, connecting to Cheltenham, which is proposed to extend to the north with this development. So the applicant did submit a concurrent application to the Site Plan and Architectural Commission. So you see the site plan that was submitted originally for that SPAC application. I point this out because I was making it clear that the eastern parcel will be included in the SPAC application site plan shown below. However, the subdivision is solely for the western 2 parcels. So I just want to make it clear that we're looking only at these 2 parcels, and the purview of the Planning Commission, I'm saying this for those in the audience or listening at home, is limited to the subdivision. So we won't be discussing the site plan. That will be part of the review of the Site Plan and Architectural Commission. That hearing is scheduled for August 7th. Look at the surrounding area. So just south of the subject site is a residential subdivision. I believe that's Delta Estate subdivision. And just to the west, you also have some residential subdivision. There's recently a apartment buildings are being constructed here. This is part of the Springbrook Park PUD. And so there'll also be a bike path will be extended through the subject site as part of their site plan review, which will connect to the sidewalk, which is currently, or excuse me, so it'd be a bike path that's currently stubbed at that Springbrook development. And to the north and the east is all EFU land. A lot of that property was included in the MD3A urbanization plan, which is the subject site is a part of. And next is an image looking northeast from Owen Drive at the subject site. Immediately in front of you is this is a stormwater facility owned by the city. Site general land use plan designation, we have two of them. You have urban residential and you have urban medium high density residential. And the zoning follows those GLUP designation. We have the SFR 10 and MFR 20. It's also a restricted zoning which applies to a portion of the site that was established with the zone change. We'll be talking about the zone change here in a couple of slides. And finally, the proposal is for a 21 lot residential subdivision. So look at the quick history of the site. So the property was brought in the urban growth boundary in 2016. And in 2020, the urbanization plan for MD3A was approved along with the annexation. That included the subject site, which is outlined in red, along with several, I believe a total of 80 acres were brought into the city. As you can see, some of those areas. It also includes the property to the east, which is part of the site plan architectural review application. So with that urbanization plan, you can see they were established 443 units they proposed to develop in the future. As far as open space, there's some some wetlands that traverse the property. They also have Hopkins Canal, so that's called double as their open space. There'll also be some agricultural buffering that will be required with the future development of the site. And also several streets, both lower order, more local streets and higher order streets, which will extend through the urbanization plan as they develop in the future. And lastly, we do have that. You can see the bike path, which will extend through the property and ultimately connect with the multifamily development to the west. So looking closer at our submitted subdivision, again, they are proposing 3, I'll start with the reserve acreage. So 3 of the parcels are designated reserve acreage, which means they're not going to develop at this time. Is for future development. A future subdivision will be coming to you in the future. At that time, we'll look closer at those particular parcels. And lot 18 is designated only to serve as their stormwater facility. So really we're looking at these 17 lots which all take access off proposed Street A. So zooming in on those 17 lots, the ones in orange, 12 of them, they're all proposed as duplex lots. As you can see, 3 of them were a little short on the lot depth. However, they were able to take advantage of our flexible design standards to get those approved. The 4 in purple are proposed as townhouse lots. And finally, in yellow, we have the lot 2, which is proposed as a triplex lot. You can also see it is also a flag lot. Look at the streets. So Sheltingham Way is proposed to be extended from where it's currently terminates at Owen Drive. So extend through the subject site, and it will continue to go north as future development occurs. And Sheltingham Way is classified as a minor collector street. They're also proposing a new street. So this is a local street, as a minor residential street. They're calling it Street A as of now. So as you can see, it'll be serving all 17 of the lots. They all take access off of Street A, and it does extend it terminates in a cul-de-sac. So a cul-de-sac is a discretionary approval before they did address those specific criteria in their application. And finally, they're also proposing a major minimum access, which will serve as vehicular access for lots 5, 6, 7, and 8. As you can see, a major minimum access easement requires an easement of 31 feet, 26 paved, along with a 5-foot sidewalk, and also parking on one side. So they do show that in their cross section. And per the code, they can serve a minimum of 4 and a maximum of 8 units. So on each of these lots, 5, 6, 7, 8, they're proposing a duplex. They will be maxed out on the number of units that will be allowed to take access off this major minimum access. Okay, so this brings us back into the secondary access. So at this point, I'll hand it off to our fire marshal, Mr. Tanner Farrington. He can kind of discuss some of the modifications he's requiring. He can kind of address why it's necessary, and then we'll bring Doug Burrows up from the Public Works Department. He can talk about the easement through the city-owned property, as well as some of the modifications we're going to have to make to the street improvements along Owen Drive.
Perfect. Thank you, Dustin. And again, Tanner Farrington, Fire Marshal for Medford Fire, for the record. Thank you, Chair and Commissioners. So just to kind of highlight a couple of the items, wanted to start by saying thank you to the applicant for the coordination on this project. We had some concerns on both access and how we were going to potentially limit the number of units with a single access. That limits the number of units to 30, which would have created some challenges for this site. So based on some coordination, we were able to come up with a solution of a secondary access, and I think it'll work pretty well. Got a couple details to work out, some turn radii, and then how it works with the parking on the sidewalk for the major minimum access on the north versus the south. But those are kind of minor details that we'll just kind of work through. We would like the access to work both for emergency evacuation and response. That wetland area to the northwest has a lot of fuel, so this time of year, if we get a fire that has some embers landing there, it's close enough to this development that there is some concern for spotting and threat to that community. So we want to make sure that access works both for the people living in this community and for us accessing for response. I think that kind of hits the highlights. Unless there's any questions, I think that's it for me.
Do any commissioners have questions of Mr. Farrington?
All right, thank you.
Mr. Burrows.
Good evening, Chair, fellow commissioners. I'm Doug Burrows with the Public Works Department, and I'd like to apologize for a last-minute staff report this afternoon. We don't like to do that to you. You guys work hard and have other things to do, so I appreciate you guys entertaining these kind of last-minute changes, but we feel like they were really good. Good for the project, good for the city, good for actually everyone concerned. So I'll just kind of go through. Tanner talked about the secondary emergency access that benefits the project greatly as far as number of units they can develop and allowing fire in, people out, and all that kind of stuff. What it does for Public Works is it actually helps us by giving a continuous maintenance road from Owen all the way to the cul-de-sac. Currently, we have one. I don't know, does this work? There we go. I don't know if you can see my mouse, but the vertical road north-south on the very west end shown there coming off of Owen Drive is an existing maintenance road already. It's gravel, it's already in place. It's to service the adjacent stormwater facility just to the east of that. So, and the applicant was gonna have to do a maintenance road from the end of the major minimum access all the way down the corner of their property to access a new sewer manhole that they'll be putting in. So we had these two access roads coming within, I don't know, 30 or 40 feet of each other. So this really made sense to make that connection. There probably will be some modifications to the existing pond that will have to happen. The applicant's aware of that. Like I said, there is room to kind of do some regrading and shift that around so there's no negative impact with that. So yeah, this works really well for us. In our report, we've kind of highlighted that it will need to be paved. There will be a mountable curb at Owen Drive. So cars can get in and out if they have to in an emergency. It won't be as nice as a driveway, which will also help prohibit maybe daily use of that thing. But fire trucks, our maintenance trucks can get in there with ease over a mountable curb. The other thing that this kind of does as a fringe benefit is it actually will allow a pedestrian connection between the cul-de-sac and Owen Drive, which kind of is a code requirement, except there are exceptions where you don't have to do that, which they essentially met some of those because of this adjacent development and the wetland. But this bridging this gap here will actually provide that benefit. And so that's another benefit to the public as well as this development. It will be posted emergency access only. And then as far as easements through the city property, we will work with the developer to provide those for them. Since it's city property, we'll have to do that. I think that's it for me. The other thing I want to talk about is Cheltenham Way. I want to make a note in our staff report. I have some language that isn't normal. But Cheltenham Way is a minor collector. Think of a residential lane with bike lanes. It's kind of the same thing. As you can see in the cross section, it has 2 travel lanes, bike lane on each side, and parking. The code allows variety in the right-of-way width, whether they provide parking or don't provide parking. At this point, they're not planning on providing parking anywhere on Cheltenham Way. I think it's a good idea to provide as much parking as possible for multifamily developments. So I have some language in our report that we suggest or recommend that they provide parking on Cheltenham Way where feasible. They have a lot of property, it seems like, that they could easily widen that out in certain areas to provide that. However, I did mention that this is not a condition of approval unless you guys want to make it one. So it won't just automatically kind of get absorbed into the conditions of approval unless you specifically say that you would like to see that. That's it. That's it for Public Works, unless you have any questions.
All right. Do any commissioners have questions of staff? Yes, Commissioner McCartney.
Yes, I got one for you. Lot number, let's see, 4 or 5, the one that's the triplex lot, a little hard to see, that has the tag
one?
that goes up to the cul-de-sac? Yeah.
Oh, over here.
No.
You had the
Oh, this one?
That
Lot-
one, yep.
That's lot 2.
Yeah, no, I know that. But if that little flag wasn't there, wouldn't it be allowed to have access on to Cheltenham?
Well, probably too close to the intersection, and it's a higher order street.
Yeah, but it's, you got, I mean, you're on 2 higher order streets, so if,
Yeah, I mean, Cheltenham's the
I mean,
lower.
it seems a
lower
little
order.
awkward to run
I'd have to
that
look at the
driveway
spacing.
up there, but,
Yeah, I have to look at the spacing and see if the code would allow that. It might be too close to the intersection.
okay.
It's a good question, though.
I mean, seems like it would make things work a little better if that were, to skip that.
Well, access to lower order streets is always preferred,
Well, I know.
so work better. I don't know, but,
And no access works even better than that, but,
well, for helicopters, it works great. Any other questions, Mr. McKechnie, on that?
no,
Okay.
not of you, thanks.
All right. Any other commissioners have questions of staff?
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Oh, I think Dustin may have something to add.
I just got to finish it off.
Oh, yeah.
We did a team effort there. All right, just a couple quick more slides. We did receive public comments, 3 we received by email. These are all related to the SPAC application, again, which is currently scheduled for August 7th. Hopefully that will move forward. In hindsight, perhaps I shouldn't even include it. They did submit this all as one big application. So I did include it in the record. And finally, I look at the agricultural impact assessment. This is a specific criteria for subdivisions. However, it's not relevant to this particular application because you see the areas where the ag buffer will be installed. But the areas of the partition, that's the reserve acreage area, which is prohibited from having development. So once they come into the future and they further subdivide the property or they develop the property at that time, we'll be looking at the ag impact assessment. We will, however, be looking at a portion of the agricultural impact assessment with the SPAC application that's coming before us very soon. So I'll move on to our findings and recommendation. I thought I missed the findings. Our findings, so I guess I better just read them. Staff finds the subdivision plat consistent with the comprehensive plan and all applicable design standards set forth in Articles 4 and 5. Furthermore, the subdivision will not prevent the development of the remainder of the property under the same ownership or of adjoining land. It bears a name which will require approval by Jackson County Surveyor's Office. The plat includes the extension of public streets, all of which meet the applicable code requirements, and criteria 5 is inapplicable, and the applicant has provided an agricultural impact assessment report, but the mitigation as outlined in section 10.802 is not required. So I'll move back to our recommendation. So So we ask you adopt the findings as recommended by staff and direct staff to prepare a final order for approval of LDS 21-100 as per the staff report dated July 16, 2026, including all the exhibits. I won't read through all this. We're also asking that you approve them to exceed the block length. We're asking that you approve for them to allow the maximum timetable of 5 years to develop the subdivision in phases. We're asking that you approve the major minimum access easement. We're asking that you approve the terminal, for Street A to terminate in a cul-de-sac. And finally, we're asking if you approve the flag lot for Lot 2. And with that, I can take questions. Thank you. And again, the applicant's agents are on the Zoom call.
Okay. Do any commissioners have questions of staff? Yes, Commissioner McKechnie.
Dustin, if probably if we can go to the site plan a little bit. I saw in the notes that the sidewalk is going to move and the parking is going to move to the south side of the minimum major or
Yeah.
major minimum access.
At the request of the fireman department, yeah.
Okay, I think personally, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my question really has to do with lot number 8, is there some sort of minimum frontage that needs to have on the major
Yeah.
minimum access?
Yeah, it's 30 feet, so then their detail would have to show that it provides the 30 feet. And sometimes they have to kind of play around with how it looks, but ultimately they will have
It's
that
got to
30 feet.
be 4 feet bigger, because it's only 26 now.
Yeah, I don't think they show a lot of detail on this particular map. Perhaps they do in the other ones, in the other plans, but yeah, we will want to make sure that that is clearly reflected in the in their plans.
Well, the other part that really concerns me is we've got a 18-foot wide, essentially, access road for a storm pond. Where do they put a driveway into all of that? Or is that going to become their driveway and they're going to do I'm a little concerned about actually being, if I were an owner, being able to get in and out of lot number 8, especially if it's a duplex. Do we have a
Yeah, I
solution
mean,
to
it's all
that?
connected. The minimum access, they're all taking access off that minimum access easement, so that serves 5, 6, 7, and 8.
Well, but so is this access road for the storm pond.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Yeah, you can speak, go ahead.
maybe we want to extend that a little bit so you can actually get into lot 8 and then start the minimum access, the pond access? Wouldn't that make sense?
Yeah, this is Doug Burrows with Public Works again. It's a good question, Mr. McKechnie. We have allowed folks to use our maintenance roads if they want to as part of their driveway.
Seems a little awkward, if you ask me.
Yeah, well, it will be paved. Actually, we'll actually maintain the surface, which might be nice. But I might let the applicant, I think, address that too if they have other ideas on how
Okay.
to get there. But you're right. Outside of that access, there isn't probably any great way to get to that completely. So other than maybe an easement through the other property, but I'll let the applicant address that. But I just want to point out, we do let folks use the maintenance road if they need to as part of their driveway.
Well, you had something in there that said that was going to be signed to not allow through traffic.
There will be signage.
So,
Yeah. So, anyway. Then you had a comment too, right?
So just to address the signage, part of that was, we could have some discussion on that. Yeah, at a minimum, it needs to be for emergency access. Most people in these neighborhoods probably aren't going to want it to look like a public street and have people kind of going in and out. So that was part of the idea behind the signage, and just to limit traffic on kind of the narrow access. As far as the major minimum access, I kind of briefly touched on it, but I'll just elaborate a little bit more. If the applicant is interested in putting the sidewalk and the parking on the north side, and that's allowed, it would provide for more parking, which is great. It's going to mean a little bit more pavement between lots 7 and 8 to make the turning movement work. But that kind of goes back to it just being a minor design detail to work through. I don't see that as a significant concern. And if it works to put it on the north side, it does provide more parking, and more parking means that people aren't parking in places that block our access. So that's a good thing. I think that covers it. All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Are there any other questions of staff? Okay. All right. We will open the public hearing and invite the applicant or their agent to come forward and speak. You're always welcome to sign in afterwards if you'd like.
You won't be able to read it anyways. Well, thank you and good evening. My name is Zach Pels. I'm a land use planner with AKS Engineering and Forestry. Our address is 3700 River Road North in Kaiser, Oregon, and we're representing the applicant for the hearing tonight. I think we just want to take a few minutes to thank your staff for the great presentation tonight. Very thorough, covered all of the information that we intended to cover, so we won't belabor you with going through that again. We also want to thank staff for all of the coordination and responsiveness throughout the development and submittal of this application. They were extremely attentive when we needed them to be. They were really responsive with questions, so really want to thank staff for that. I'd also like to say that we are agreeable to staff's recommended conditions, and I guess we'll save the rest of our time to respond to any questions that you may have. We've got our engineer in the house tonight, and our traffic engineer is on the Zoom call if you have questions for them.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Does anybody on the commission have questions? Yes, Commissioner McKechnie.
So I guess I get to ask you the same question that I asked Doug Burrows. So personally, I can see it makes sense to put parking on the north side of that major minimum access and the sidewalk on the south side. I would assume, do you have any issues with doing something like that?
We're okay with that.
And then, so what about access to Lot 8?
Yeah, so I guess if you can see the mouse here, really, I guess as you're heading down that minimum access easement, the home would be located nearest that Lot 8 east property line, and the driveway would wrap around the west side. And so the garage would likely be located sort of on the south side or somewhere where the vehicle could come into the west side of a home on that lot and provide sufficient room for that vehicle to turn around and then head back out headways onto that easement.
So the paving would, from the access would kind of bend around the house, and then at some point it would become a driveway going south, I presume, and
Correct.
And an access road going southwest?
Correct. Yep.
Okay, all right.
Do you have any other questions?
Nope. Nope.
Okay. Does anyone else on the commission have questions of the applicant? All right.
Thank you.
Reserve rebuttal time? Yes, okay. All right, are there any persons in the audience that would like to speak regarding this applications? All right, seeing no one come forward, did Zoom want to speak, or nope, they're okay? All right, does staff have any additional comments?
No, thank you.
Commission have any additional questions of staff or council? All right. Does the applicant or their agent wish to offer a rebuttal? No, thank you. All right. We will now close the public hearing, and is there a motion for consideration? Deep breaths.
Chair, I move to adopt the findings as recommended by staff and direct staff to prepare a final order for approval of LDS-26-100 per the staff report dated July 16th, 2026, including exhibits A1 through double capital I, including exhibits H1 replacing exhibit H, exhibit J1 replacing exhibit J, exhibit K1 replacing exhibit K, exhibit AA1 replacing exhibit AA, and exhibit Y1 replacing exhibit Y. Additionally, approval for the subdivision to exceed block length and perimeter standards pursuant to MLDC 10.426 subsection 4 subsection lowercase b subsection 6. Approval of the maximum timetable of 5 years for the subdivision to be developed in phases pursuant to MLDC 10-202 subsection 4 subsection b. Approval for the subdivision to include the creation of a major minimum access easement in lieu of a public street pursuant to MLDC 10.450. I'm going to say, I guess, subsection 1, subsection 1. Approval for Street A to terminate in cul-de-sac pursuant to MLDC 10.450, subsection 1, subsection 2, and approval for Lot 2 to be designed as a flag lot pursuant to MLDC 10.450, subsection 1, subsection 3.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion on the motion? Commissioner McKechnie? Yes.
Yeah, so I want to say that I appreciate that the applicants have been willing to make a few tweaks here to make it a little better project, even though it is kind of on the fly. I know I'm always reluctant to do that anyway, but we don't often get that kind of commitment from applicants, so I appreciate that.
Any other questions on the motion? I do have one or two questions. In regards to the suggestion of Cheltenham being encouraged to have parking, that was a suggestion. Is that anything that the commission wants to incorporate in the requirements or leave it as is with discretion to the applicant?
You asking for comments? I'd
Yeah.
say I'm happy leaving it as is.
Perfect. No one has any disagreements. The only other question I have is probably for staff, because the motion that I have in the published one here also had relief from constructing a public access way in lieu of public street. Is that needed or not necessary?
We took that out because with the secondary access, that functions, that doubles as the access. It actually satisfies that condition. So it worked out really nice in the end.
Fantastic. Are there any other discussion items or questions about the motion? Kaylee, can we have a roll call, please?
E.J. McManus,
Yes.
Jared Pulver,
Yes.
Marcy Pierce,
Yes.
Mark McKechnie,
Yes.
Jim Wallen,
Yes.
David Culberson.
Yes.
We have 6 yeses.
All right, thank you. Good luck with your project. All right, item 50.4, DCA-26-201, consideration of legislative amendment to Chapter 10 of the Medford Municipal Code to allow special meetings to be held in appeals of land use actions. The applicant is City of Medford, and the planner is Kelly Aiken. Can we have a staff report, please?
Sure. As I figure out what I'm doing. All right. Thank you. Good evening, Commissioners. I am Kelly Aiken with your Planning Department, so I'm not used to this new setup yet. So I have a brief presentation for you on a Land Development Code amendment regarding appeal procedures for land use applications. So I'm just going to jump right into the text. So this follows you'll recall the Mountaintop PUD appeal. And so one of the recommendations from the city manager was to amend Land Development Code Section 10.140 to allow special meetings to be held. The code currently doesn't allow that for appeals. So this is a development code amendment. The code amendments are a type 4 legislative decision. Planning Commission, your responsibility is to review and then make a recommendation to our city council. We do have a hearing scheduled for the council on August the 19th. The approval criteria for code amendments are found in section 10.218 of the Land Development Code. They've been found to be either satisfied or not applicable in this case. So it's kind of interesting. The way the code is structured, it says that appeal hearings have to be held the next regular city council meeting that falls not less than 14 days after the appeal is filed. So as an example, If we had an appeal filed on the 1st of June, the hearing would be the 17th of June for City Council. And one of the reasons that we wanted to schedule one of the benefits of being allowed to schedule special meetings is we had a really interesting year this summer for Site Plan and Architectural Commission. It's really unusual. They meet the first and third Fridays of every month. And this particular year, we had back-to-back holidays for 2 of their consecutive meetings, which meant that we didn't have a SPAC meeting for 6 weeks. So we did end up holding a special meeting to accommodate the 120-day rule for a particular application. So it is very unusual, but it does happen. That's just one good example of where this particular code amendment was beneficial. Really? Okay. All right. So again, the amendment, all we're doing is just adding that one line that allows for a special meeting to be held. And so that's all that I had for you. We are recommending that the commission forward a favorable recommendation. And that's all that I have for you, unless you have questions for me.
All right, thank you. Does the commission have any questions of staff? Yes, Commissioner Wallen.
Kelly, who decides whether and when to hold a special meeting like this?
That's an excellent question. I think it would be pretty rare. I think if we were in jeopardy of not being able to satisfy the 120-day rule, or if we had a situation like we had with our site plan commission this year where we know we're going to have a gap where we don't have meetings.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any other questions of staff? All right.
All right.
I'll open the public hearing.
Thank you.
And are there any members of the audience that wish to come forward and speak on this application item? All right. See, no one on Zoom? Okay. All right. Does staff have any additional comments on this?
No, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Does the commission have any additional questions for staff or council? Yes, Commissioner Pulver.
Sorry, Kelly, I assume it's a state requirement on the noticing part? So
Yes.
we don't have an option on that, so
No.
if we can't, if the noticing pushes us past the deadline, we're just stuck with it. Yeah, okay, thanks.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions of staff? All right. We will close the public hearing, and is there a motion for consideration?
Chair, based on the findings and conclusions that all of the approval criteria are either met or not applicable, I moved forward a favorable recommendation for adoption of DCA-26-201 to the City Council per the staff report dated July 16th, 2026, including all exhibits.
All right. Thank you. Is there a second?
Yep, second.
All right. Is there any discussion on the motion? Kaylee, can we have a roll call, please?
Marcy Pierce,
Yes.
Jared Pulver,
Yes.
Jim Wallen,
Yes.
Mark McKechnie,
Yes.
EJ McManus,
Yes.
Dave Culberson.
Yes.
We have 6 yeses.
All right. Perfect. So when you present, be sure and note that it's unanimous in our recommendation.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sorry, jab, jab. That concludes tonight's public hearings. Moving on to item 60, presentations of reports. Transportation Commission. Commissioner Pulver.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about the minutes. No, just kidding. We have not had a meeting. No Carl, no meeting, so.
Got it. All right. Site plan and architecture, I'm sure Kelly's going to fill in. Commissioner Thomas is not here. And we have Planning Department, 60.3. Kelly.
All right, thank you again, Mr. Chair. So a couple things. So Site Plan Architectural Commission, last week they just had a couple continuance items, so we'll have more to come on them after your next meeting. For your upcoming schedule, we do have business for both of your August meetings, so that's the 13th and the 27th. We have business scheduled for you. We do not have anything for your July 27 study session. There's that. I wanted to give you an update of some code amendments that are coming very soon to a hearing near you on 2 different pieces of legislation out of the 2025 and 26 sessions. House Bill 4037 actually became effective July 1, and it does a couple different things. This is all residential development related. For projects fewer than 20 units, it changes the noticing requirement to 100 feet. For more than 20 units, it's up to 500 feet. Currently, the city standard is 200 feet. So that will be changing. It disallows public hearings, so no more public hearings for residential development. And only the applicant may appeal a decision. So it really reduces the amount of opportunities for the public to disagree with a land use decision for residential development.
Interesting.
The applicant can appeal it up to LUBA, but only the applicant has the right to do so. So those are some of the highlights out of House Bill 4037.
Joy.
And that has been enacted, so for those applications that were filed after July 1st, those are the rules. Senate Bill 974.
Kelly, excuse me,
Yes,
Kelly,
sir.
can I just ask?
Sure.
So no public hearings for any housing projects?
It makes it a type 2 for residential development.
For everything, huh? Any residential project?
Not for subdivisions. That's a different application type. So the site plan review, so SPAC will no longer see, I don't think,
Anything?
any-
Even if over 3 acres or anything?
I don't think so.
Okay,
So we'll be
I'm just,
Yeah, well, it's funny because, you know, the legislation, the impacts of the legislation are really big and the words are, so you have to kind of, you know, take the legislation and figure out how it actually fits in your code. So our long-range group are working on that now.
okay, so the legislation doesn't come with any,
Doesn't come with instructions. It's kind of-
Narrative?
No, it's kind of like babies. They just give you the thing and then you got to figure it out.
okay, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
but
not at
thanks.
all. So Senate Bill 974, again, for residential projects, makes zone changes, PUDs, and variances, which we call exceptions here, all type 2s. So those things will no longer come to the Planning Commission. So it still is, there's still notice, so we'll still notice the neighbors, but there is no public hearing for those things. So that your legislature has been quite busy around housing, about residential development. So just want to let you know those two things are coming very soon to a code amendment process near you. So pretty big stuff. Definitely big changes.
Okay.
So that's all that I had for you, unless you have questions about that.
Does anybody have any questions of Kelly?
All right, thank you.
All right, item 70, messages and papers from the chair. I have none. Item 80, city attorney. remarks.
None.
All right. Item 90, propositions or remarks from the commission. Seeing none. And item 100 is adjournment. We're out.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.